Yo, what's going on, y'all? So listen, letting your money sit in a high yield savings account has got to be one of the simplest ways to make sure that your money is actually growing with basically you having to put in zero effort. Most people still have their savings sitting in a regular savings account, literally earning pennies in interest, and in my humble opinion, that's really just a mistake. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about exactly what a high yield savings account is. I'll talk about how they work, and then I'm going to be discussing 5 different high yield savings accounts that you need to know about starting today. What's up, y'all? My name's Ruben, and this is Eternal Assets, where I'll talk any and everything financial literacy. Listen, I don't want to waste your time any longer, so let's get right into the video. Okay, so like I said, before we actually get into the 5 accounts, let's quickly break down what a high yield savings account is and how it actually works. So a high yield savings account is basically a savings account that pays you way more in interest than a standard one at your traditional bank, but without having to take on any extra risk. Your money isn't invested in the stock market, and you're not locking it up in any kind of way. And also, you're not doing anything complicated. You simply deposit your money and the bank pays you interest on it, usually compounded daily, but you'll see the deposits into your account monthly. But let's be honest, what's the catch, right? So the reason why these accounts pay you more in interest is because most of them are offered by online banks. So they don't have to maintain thousands of physical branches in person, so now they're able to pass down those savings back to you in the form of higher interest rates. And the important part is that these accounts are still FDIC insured up to $250,000, just like the traditional savings account at your big bank. So in simple terms, you're keeping your money safe and you can access it whenever you need it. And it's earning way more in the background without you even having to do anything extra. That's exactly why high yield savings accounts are perfect for things like emergency funds, short-term savings, and cash that you just don't want sitting idle doing nothing. And with all that being said, let's get into the 5 high yield savings accounts that you need to know about today. So keep in mind before we get into them that they're not ranked in any particular order, as the goal of this video is just to make sure that you know that you have plenty of options out there. Also, the rates on high yield savings accounts do fluctuate, so depending on the time that you're watching this video, they could be lower or they could be even higher currently. But without further ado, the first one up is the Ally Bank High Yield Savings Account. So Ally is one of the more popular online banks out there, especially in the personal finance space, and there's a reason for that. They're currently offering a 3.30 APY, and a lot of people end up choosing Ally because simply it just works. There's no hoops to jump through to get the account, and like many others on this list, there's no monthly maintenance fees or minimum balance requirements. They even have 24/7 customer support, which really comes in handy since they're one of those banks that's online only. Also, something that sets Ally apart from the others is a feature they offer called savings buckets, and it's a lot more useful than it actually may sound. So instead of dumping all your money into one big savings balance, Ally actually lets you organize your savings within the same account. This way, it allows you to mentally and visually separate your money based on what it's actually for, like an emergency fund, a travel fund, or even car expenses, without having to open multiple different accounts. This is a neat little feature that helps you see progress towards specific goals, so you're less likely to dip into money that wasn't meant to be touched. So if you are new to high yield savings accounts and you want something simple, stable, and beginner friendly, Ally is where a lot of people do start, and it's a really good option. Alright, and the next one on the list that I have is the Capital One 360 Performance Savings Account. So Capital One is a name that most people already know about and trust, which makes them a really comfortable option for beginners, and at the time that I'm making this video, they're currently offering a 3.30% APY, also with no monthly maintenance fees or a minimum balance required to maintain the account. What I do like about Capital One's 360 Performance Savings is that it feels like your regular banking experience, just without the regular low interest rate. If you already have a Capital One credit card or checking account, for example, this fits really nicely into the same ecosystem. Everything's under one login, and the app is pretty solid and has easy and simple transfers. This is a great option if you want your savings to earn more in interest, but you don't want to feel like you're banking with some random company that you never heard of. It's not flashy and it's really simple, but for a lot of people, that's actually the appeal. And the third one I got for you guys is SoFi's High Yield Savings Account. Now, SoFi is similar to Ally as far as being one of the more popular options, especially when it comes to the online banking space, and it's also a little different from the others on this list because it's more than just a savings account. But don't worry, because I'm going to break down what I mean by that in just a bit. So SoFi's High Yield Savings Account is also currently offering an APY of 3.30%, and they're also offering a pretty cool promotion where you can earn a 0.70% boost for the first 6 months, which currently brings it to the total 4% APY. You get this promotion by setting up an eligible direct deposit within the first 60 days of opening up your account. Now, what I was talking about before was that with SoFi, the high yield savings account isn't something that you can completely open on its own. When you sign up, you'll actually have to open up a combined checking and savings account setup. SoFi automatically gives you both accounts together, and you'll have to receive your eligible direct deposit into one of these accounts to get to most of the benefits. Now, eligible direct deposit simply counts as any type of funds that come from an employer payroll, and it doesn't doesn't have to be any specific dollar amount. So as long as you have at least any portion of your payroll, even if it's just a couple dollars directly deposited into this account, you'll maintain that full APY promotion. Now, if you don't maintain that direct deposit, you won't get that 0.7% boost, and SoFi's high yield savings account will only pay you out 1.0% APY, which, although it is much lower, it still beats the 0.01% or 0.02% that you'll get from letting it sit in a standard savings account with a regular bank that you may have now. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just means that SoFi works best if you're okay with having your checking and your savings account under the same roof and not separating it between different institutions. An additional bonus that SoFi also offers is a bonus $50 or $300 if your direct deposits add up to a certain amount. On the site, it breaks down that if your eligible direct deposits within the first 25 days add up to $1,000 or $4,999, you get the bonus of $50. And if it adds up to anything $5,000 or more in those 25 days, then you'll get the bonus $300, which is a nice little addition, again, if you plan on transferring everything over to SoFi anyway. All right, and next up, I have the American Express High Yield Savings Account. So a lot of people don't even realize that American Express offers a high yield savings account, but they actually do. This is about as straightforward as it gets. No extra features, just a place to store your cash and earn interest, and it has a current APY of 3.30%. Yet again, also no monthly maintenance fees or minimum balance deposit. Typically, people who choose Amex Savings usually do it because they already trust the company and the brand, and they want something that's simple and reliable. This is a great option if you're already somebody who uses Amex for one of their credit cards, because you'll be able to have and access everything under the same login. So overall, really great for convenience, and honestly, sometimes keeping it simple is for the better. And last but certainly not least, at number 5, I have the Marcus Online Savings Account by Goldman Sachs. So like you just heard, the Marcus Online Savings Account is backed by Goldman Sachs, which immediately gives it a lot of credibility. And it also is offering a current rate of 3.65% APY, which is a bit higher than many other high yield savings accounts out there currently. This is yet another no frills savings account, and that's exactly why people like it, because there's no complicated rules, there's no minimum balances, and there's no fees to worry about monthly. The Marcus Online Savings Account is commonly used for things like emergency savings funds, planned savings goals, and money you want to just keep safe, accessible, and earning interest without thinking about it too much. So if you're someone who values stability and brand reputation over bells and whistles and one that's currently trending, then the Marcus account is probably a solid option for you. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest, if your savings is still sitting in a traditional bank earning basically nothing, you're really leaving money on the table. Any one of these 5 accounts is a huge upgrade. You don't need all 5, you don't need the perfect one, you just need to pick one and start somewhere. And listen, if this video helped you out, please make sure to hit that like button because it really helps the channel out. And if you want more videos on saving, investing, and building wealth the smart way, consider subscribing because I'm going to be making more videos on things like these in the future. Also, let me know down in the comments which high yield savings account you're currently using or which one you're thinking about opening in the future. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.